4 defeats in a row, but then 2 consecutive wins. It was a tough start to the season for the New Saints women, but things seem to be on track now, Andy.
Football's about momentum, I think, isn't it? And the momentum has taken a really big shift this week. I've said twice already that we saw that coming. It's a result of a lot of hard work, a lot of effort from the players, from the staff, from everyone that surrounds the team, that gives us the opportunity to and the platform to perform as we do. So we are in a good moment, as it were. Things have turned, as you say. Players are feeling upbeat, staff are feeling a little bit more upbeat. We just keep going on to the next one.
And looking back on Wednesday's game against Aberystwyth Town, it was a great 2-0 win against a strong side and lifted the team off the bottom of the Genera Madran Premier. It's probably easy to guess, but what was the mood like in the camp come the final whistle?
Mixed emotions, I think, in a good sense. Mixed because of a little bit of relief, obviously ecstatic because of the win, but also a great sense of pride as well in what we've done and what we've achieved. I thought, Gavin's side and Aberystwyth performed really, really well on the evening. So it was actually a really strong win and a strong performance. So that was really my overriding emotions from the game, which obviously I communicated to the players afterwards. So again, we're really, really happy with what we achieved the other night and circumspect of, that relief and whatever. We're not going to get too carried away. We weren't too despondent when we were losing games. We're not going to get too carried away when we're winning games. We're going to try and stay quite level-headed. And as I say, we'll just take the next game now.
She's missed the last few games, but it was great to see Georgia Griffiths come off the bench on Wednesday night. How much of a difference will her return make going forward?
It's not just on the pitch that Georgia brings, it's off the pitch, of course, as well, because she is a mature player, she's an experienced player, she's played in relatively big games in the past as well, so she knows this type of football environment, she knows obviously the dressing room environment, and she brings that level of calmness and that composure. On the pitch, of course, she brings a great football head, great football insight and huge technical ability, so to have her in amongst the rest of the group, the young players leading the way, is really, really important for us, and that can only strengthen not only the side and the team, but also the position that we find ourselves in at the moment. So we're obviously delighted to have her back. It's just another top quality player, somebody that's on the top of her game coming back in and adding to the rest of the group that are also functioning at that level. So really, really good, really pleased to have her back, yes.
And it's another big match for your side this coming Sunday as you travel to Victoria Road to face Port Talbot Town. With the two sides separated by just goal difference at the bottom of the table, is it fair to call this the biggest game of the season so far?
It is. It's the biggest game of the season because it's the next game. It's as simple as that. So it doesn't matter that it's 7th versus 8th. It doesn't matter that it's TNS versus Port Talbot. It doesn't matter that it's a league game or a cup game. It's the next game. So that in itself makes it the most important game. It's our sole focus at the moment. We're obviously doing our homework on them. We're preparing our sort of formation and our game plan and personnel for this weekend. And like everything, we'll devote 100% of our resources that we've got available to performing to the best of our capabilities and hoping that that's enough to get the results and get us over the line.
And like TNS, Port Talbot have also on a good run of form and they've won their last 2 games as well. How much do you know about the Blues and what sort of game are you expecting as the two sides prepare to face off for the first time?
Well, listen, similar to everybody else, Hayley's had her problems there with her team during pre-season and the last couple of weeks with injuries and availability and one thing and another. As you say, they're 2 games unbeaten as well, so they'll come into this game full of confidence. They're the home side, so we've got to deal with those sort of, constraints that Aberystwyth had to deal with the other night when they came to us. So the tables are turned. So we know bits and bobs about them. We'd like to know more for sure, but take nothing away from Hayley, take nothing away from Port Talbot Town. We know this is going to be another ding-dong game and we've got to be ready and we've got to be fully prepared. We've got to be fully concentrated and make sure that we're on top form if we want to be rolling back home on Sunday night with 3 points.
And finally, with just 2 days to go now until kick-off in South Wales, what does the general injury and availability situation look like?
We're still missing at least one this weekend. We know that one player's not ready. I'm not obviously going to put that out there publicly who we're talking about. But we've got 16, 17, 18 players to choose from this weekend. So from a coach's point of view, obviously that's a headache because I've got players that want game time, but the 11 starting players at the moment obviously are there to be displaced because we're 2 from 2 and we're moving in the right direction. I said last week that we're trying to sort of build partnerships and pairings and embed that cohesion between units, and lots of changes are going to sort of hamstring that, and we don't want to sort of create more issues and more problems for ourselves. Nevertheless, obviously we've got to give players a chance where we feel that we can do so. We've got full availability. It'll be a headache picking a side and picking a formation for sure. Obviously that's part and parcel of being a coach. You have to accept that, and we'll go from there.